Today my topic is The Killers by Hemingway, who is the very famous writer. However, The Killers is a short story. First of all, I will tell you about the characters of the killers. L and Max, Ole Anderson. L and Max, the killers who came to the restaurant. And Ole Anderson, he is actually former heavyweight retired boxer who was to be killed by Al and Max, but wasn't killed. George, the waiter at the restaurant. Nick Adams, the counterman at the hotel. Sam, the cook. The motorman, the driver of an electricity powered streetcar, a customer also. Mrs. Bell, housekeeper of the place where Ole Anderson was staying on rent in a room. The killer story actually introduces us few dark aspects of modern American society. Firstly, it depicts crime, terrorism, and insecurity in different sections of it through the action of Al and Max. Secondly, it represents different classes of people who are unhappy with each other, with society, and with themselves. However, this reveals by the characters of Anderson and Nick. Thirdly, it projects Hemingway's understanding of the inability of the members of the society to solve their personal and social problems, and thus his final hopelessness with life. Now I am going to tell you about the story of the killers. In this story, you will find the two persons, Al and Max, who enter a restaurant. Actually, they are killer and want to kill a man, Ole Anderson, to oblige a friend. And they know that Anderson occasionally visits that restaurant. While eating in the restaurant, they ask to the George, who is the waiter there, about the different person who come to visit the restaurant. Max tells George that they have come to kill a person, that is Anderson. He tells George that Anderson has not seen them. They are going to kill him to oblige a friend. As there are customers also coming, so George goes to the kitchen to bring something for them. He finds Nick, the other waiter, and Sam are back to back in a corner, a towel tied in each of their mouth. Al is sitting there covering them with a shotgun. George cooks the sandwich and gives them to the customers. They go away. Al and Max, who are waiting for the Anderson, but Anderson is not coming there, so the killers are satisfied and decide to go out of the restaurant. Then George unties the cook and the other waiter. In the story, we see that Nick, who is the waiter, thinks that Anderson should be informed of the killers, and he knows where Anderson lives. So he goes towards his house and he tells him about the murderers, but Anderson shows no interest. He doesn't want Nick to inform the police. He is so desperate that now he is ready to face the killers. In this story, we find the deep impression. If we talk about the theme of the story, then we can find that is the psychological fact is very reviewed and shown there. The man in this story, that is Anderson, he is very tired, running from death that he gets free from the fear. Now he is ready to accept this eventually. In fact, his fear of death is killed. So we may say despair makes a man brave. Moreover, this story is full of suspense. Up to the very last, we can't guess at whether the man will be killed or not. However, the reaction of Ole Anderson is quite unexpected. Actually, in this story, writer has created very powerful impact of death. Writer has created a very horrible atmosphere as we see that the killers when they leave the place but there remains the shadow of the death. Now I am going to tell you about the elements of horror, suspense and irony in story The Killers. As I have told you about the abnormal and awkward behavior of Al and Max in the eating room and their purpose of coming there, so there was suspense that the armed men might rob money and things and someone might be injured or killed. But ironically, when what happens is the opposite of what is expected, this did not happen. Max told George that they had come there to kill Ole Anderson, who is retired boxer whom they had never met, just for the sake of their friend. We can detect the suspense or horror increased as those present there directed their eyes to the restaurant clock. The restaurant workers were fearing that if Anderson came in time, he would be instantly killed. Anyhow, they could not kill him because he did not come there. Actually, the title is ironical in its significance and meaning, as it means the two men who were not the killers till the end of the story, but who could kill Anderson in the future if he did not activate the police or other agencies against them, or if they could not be caught. If we talk about the darkest aspects of modern American society and philosophy of Hemingway, then we see that the killers reflect lawlessness and social unhappiness in the developed American society. Moreover, the Hemingway's pessimistic point of view and attitude towards life. In fact, in the 20th century, cheating, fraud, and crime came to be on the rise, and the government failed to enforce the law properly against criminals. As a result, young men like Al and Max became actively engaged in killing and looting citizens. Hemingway, in a way, questions the country's social system, which allows murders to be committed so easily. He blames the social conditions which promote crime. However, in the story The Killers, Hemingway indirectly criticizes the government, the judicial system, and the law enforcing agencies like the police, which can't check the increase in the crime. It seems that there is not enough mobile police present on the roads, even in a rich country honored for its democracy. In fact, the story is based on Hemingway's philosophy of the man's dissatisfaction with himself. No one in the story seems to be satisfied. with what he is and where he is. The people have no religious or moral center. They have no strong religious beliefs. A large number of people are without proper aims or purpose. However, Hemingway, through the characters of Al and Max, representing the aimless and purposeless people in the modern age. Now I am going to tell you about the character of Ole Anderson. In fact, Anderson represented many oldish men of his time who did not find anything interesting or worth attention in life. After their active years, life and death were now equal to him. Anderson might have thought of death as an escape, like many dissatisfied, disenchanted people who even committed suicide, like Hemingway himself, who, at the height of his fame, killed himself after retirement from active life in his sick condition. This is one result of the highly advanced industrial societies, where active people in business leave lonely persons like Anderson to themselves. Anderson's life actually symbolized some of the darkest aspect of American life or of the advanced Western civilization. However, inner peace and spiritual satisfaction are what religion alone can provide. We see in Hemingway's character mostly find little in religion to support them, which speak much of Anderson's lonely suffering and isolation. Anyhow, Anderson was now tired of running around and was unmindful of the danger to his life from Al and Max, or for that matter from any other criminals. The same can be said of Nick Adams in some way. Al is one of the killers. He is a professional cutthroat. He is in search of Ole Anderson, whom he wants to kill, to please one of his friends. He is very cruel person that he even can kill anybody for any smallest reason. Moreover, he is also rough and rude fellow, ill-mannered and clever. He keeps Nick Adam, the counterman, and Sam, the cook, as hostages in the kitchen, and he is very smart that he has even shotgun and is ready to use it if need arises. He makes both of his hostages sit back to back with towels forced into their mouths. He talks in a very rough way with them. He talks so much. If we talk about the character of Max, then we can say he is also one of the killers. He is also a professional cutthroat, and he is in search of Ole Anderson, whom he wants to kill just to please one of his friends. Same like Al, he is also a cruel person and he also can kill anybody. However, Max is dressed like Al. Both wear overcoats that are very tight for them. He also wears gloves and even eats with gloves. If we talk about the behavior of Max, then we can say he is a little less rough and rude than his partner, Al. He can talk in a light manner when he likes. When Al keeps Sam and Nick as hostages in the kitchen under gunpoint, Max looks after George, the waiter, and forces him to work as counterman. He also praises George for working in a smart way and satisfying the customers. He also enjoys calling him by the name Bright Boy again and again. It seems he is a little reasonable person. In fact, Al and Max represented the purposeless and aimless people in the modern age. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.